we on? Are we starting on Phil? Oh, no, we're not. Here we are. Hello, everybody. All one of you, maybe. So we are not prepared, but it's
Easter
okay.
Special.
That actually, yeah, it's the Easter special. We had a thing, but
It's
we
Good
didn't
Friday.
get to it here. But it's okay. Usually, some of our best shows are ill prepared, and this one's very ill prepared. That's okay. But let's go around the room. Introductions. You know me, Matt Skitsa, and we got some new people here today, and they can introduce themselves. There you go, Patrick. Take off.
Patrick Briette, running for the 44th House District in the Illinois General Assembly.
Philip Nagel, running for Illinois State Senate, District 40.
Val Ojeda, Republican strategist and member of the Trump team, 2016-2020.
I'm James, aka Patriots_Rising17.
Josh, oh shit, my thing's all fuzzy still. Because everyone else is amateurs, my shit's all fucked up because I had to get everybody else's stuff ready.
Ah, you look good though. It's got that classic rough look to you. It's okay. You're doing good.
Josh's introduction was definitely my favorite.
It was. You got 10 points for that because you're fuzzy. So today we're gonna start jumping into some topics here. We don't have any of the formats that we had before. No games, nothing like that. We are drinking. At least some of us are. Got an energy drink, doesn't drink,
Porter.
Yeah, rum.
and we got a rum man.
Pacific Go.
And Josh is on the Pacifico. And I got some strawberry shit. Strawberry lager.
Wine
Avita.
cooler.
I don't know. It doesn't taste like strawberry though.
It's probably for the better.
I know. It's probably for the better. We're doing some technical stuff. All right. Let's jump into the topics because I wanna start nailing some commies to the wall here. First one, Ukraine. Anything going on in Ukraine?
Well, there's a lot going in Ukraine. You know, we had the Russian Federation, the former Soviet Union, wanting to establish dominance, and you know, the lower end, it's just they're controlling the Black Sea, and it's just it looks like there may be a threat to Poland, Estonia, and NATO itself. But right now we're ill prepared. I believe if we did have a strong president in office, that this wouldn't have happened.
Probably not.
Any president that was worth his salt would have had in the Marines ready, in the Marine Amphibious Ready Group, the Muse, start relocating NATO forces close to the borders for, for CAPS, do patrols in the air, AWACS, but right now we have none of that. And it's just these guys are fending for themselves. And it's a shame because in 91, if you recall, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait and the world united to their defense. But it's just funny how Ukraine doesn't have that oil like Kuwait, but yet it's just, all these poor children are dying. You see all the pictures of families running across the border. And this president is doing nothing. It's just, he's old, he's inept, and his council, like the Secretary of Defense, the Joint Chiefs, they're just part of that cartel that just are in line with, China and Russia. And now people's lives are having to suffer for it.
He finally, on his third try, I think, told the media, like, I'm not going to tell you what my plans are if they move in on, or whatever. And it was just like, dude, you already told them twice. Did you guys hear that, I think it was a New York Post article that came out maybe about a month ago, Trump, I think in his first meeting with Putin, he said, if you invade anybody while I'm in office, I'll hit Moscow.
Yeah.
Like it or hate, love it or hate the decision to do that, he did it, and it was effective.
Well, it's a deterrent.
Yeah.
Whether you're serious or not, it's something you don't want to play with. So that's okay. It is what it is. But, the only thing I have to say about Ukraine is 336 biolabs. Why?
Yeah.
Totally.
What Ukraine has, what was it, 22 of them? Or is it 32 of them? I don't remember.
Not to mention Biden's implicated there, Pelosi, John Kerry, all the families have got, that's where
all their
all,
sons, yeah.
Yeah, that's where all the
It's a little boys club.
The fraudulent money laundering happens, right?
Yeah, let's line them up. Make some cash, some quick cash.
It is interesting how it sounds like the United States or Biden is willing to send fighter jets to Poland for them to use their pilots to defend Ukrainian airspace. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah, there's
Well,
no
they're
way
NATO.
in hell they would do that.
No,
They're
and
NATO.
It
That's
almost
why.
seems like what's sad right now is the fact that the United States looks like a wounded animal, and the pack of wolves from around the world are ganging up on this animal. And sadly, that's the United States, and it's because of such weak leadership. Under America First policy, we were, we ruled where we were in charge, we were in control through, peace through strength. It was that simple, and we have gone 180 degrees from that spot.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that's going on there. I haven't been really keeping up as of late with all that, but it just seems like a lot of propaganda and kind of look over here stuff going on. I think that's pretty typical with a lot of invasions and wars and everything. You kind of have Putin's propaganda, and then you have the United States propaganda, and who's going to win?
And Ukraine's.
Yeah, and Ukraine as well. So
Well, that's all Ukraine is propaganda.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. And a targeted Christian, you brought up something here. The Nazis in Ukraine, yeah, the Azov Brigade are all Nazis, and that's a unique dynamic to see taking place in the U.S., where you have the progressives, the Democrats, the liberals, all backing the Ukrainians. And even I saw the other day, I was in Naperville, and I saw a flag on the wall, and it was literally the Nazi Ukrainian flag in a shop.
interesting.
So
Wow.
how?
Wait, it was a Ukrainian flag with like a Nazi symbol on
Yeah,
it?
it has a Nazi symbol,
Huh.
the Azov Brigade symbol. It
Huh.
had the SS symbol on it.
Interesting.
Well,
But they can't put two and two together.
Ukraine's fighting back. They got the drones in the air. They're using Turkish drones. Now right now they're using the Su-27s, MiG-29s. You have to remember, the United States doesn't have spare parts. For every 1 hour, you could probably quote me on this. For every 1 hour is 10 hours of maintenance time for every time they're in the air. So,
It's pretty high. I couldn't give you the exact number, but it's pretty high.
but what if they run out of parts? And right now they just don't have any, many planes that can be out there doing, combat air patrols. And of course, all that's coming from Russia. And so right now, they're in the last line of defense. There's really no armor that Ukraine has, and so, but they are getting there. But there needs to be more participation.
What's their biggest weakness though right now? You can send them all the weapons in the world. You just don't have any people now to fight.
20,000 Russians lost so far. So that they're making it down. Hopefully Putin.
I don't think
runs
they have
away.
any soldiers left.
No.
I think it's over, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Seems like
Ukraine's
it.
done. Stick a fork in them like a turkey.
Yeah, it seems just like it's kind of fizzled out. There hasn't been a lot really going on over there. I don't know. It's hard to tell really what the truth is, though, because we think that we know what's really going on.
Right, it's not being reported on like it was. It is really what it is, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to. That's why I kind of stopped paying attention, to be honest, because it's just like I said, the propaganda. We don't really know unless we go out there and physically. Because there was a guy from Great Britain I saw. I think I was watching this last week. He's like, I want to see what's going on, and he flew there, and he was videoing, and he's like, there's lights and everything set up like movie studios basically outside, and they're filming.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is like all the trains and everything is going. Buses are still working in cities that are supposedly, completely war torn.
Devastated,
It was like a facade.
Yeah,
That's if you think about it.
Interesting.
If you look at any war, when a country invades another country, what's the first thing they take out? The infrastructure. You have
Mhm.
no electricity,
Mhm.
no communication capabilities, and what do they have in Ukraine? They have electricity. They have communication capabilities. So, was this an invasion, or what was it?
yeah.
So right now it's about dominance.
Yeah.
It's just with the fall of the Soviet Union in '91. It's just they want that dominance back. They want to be that Soviet Union. Look at all the resources they lost in Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Estonia, and many other nations. And If you recall, they even had nuclear weapons, but due to Treaty 94, they had to, give them all back, including strategic bombers. But I really believe that Putin wants to revive that red state, and he's going to do anything he can to do it.
Yeah,
Could be.
I don't know. I see a master plan at work, and I just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
We'll
Agreed.
find out. You look
sure.
at all this, and it's amazing how the headlines gets grabbed. That the only thing you heard for weeks and weeks was Ukraine, and
Mhm.
some of the stories coming out. Then all of a sudden, there's something else that comes out.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
We'll get into some of those too here in a little bit, because there was another one last week or the beginning of this week,
Mhm.
and that's with Musk.
The Musk stuff has
Yeah,
been
the Musk
taken
stuff.
over.
That's-
yeah.
It's
What's-
pretty interesting.
Did you guys see I can't remember the name of the actor. He's a super liberal actor, and he was like
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn. Yes,
yeah.
he was talking about going. Did he actually
He
go?
went out there.
Did he actually
Yeah.
go? Oh my gosh.
that's Russia's in trouble when Sean Penn goes out.
He did that with Pablo, El
Oh.
Chapo, remember?
Yeah.
yeah.
He went down there, his career was so downhill. He's resorted to stuff like that. How about
Okay.
the Ghost of Kiev?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they put that out there.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
was,
None
that
of
was a
that's real.
fabrication.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
real.
that
Yeah.
wasn't real. Yeah.
What they say, shot down 5 fighter jet. That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they found that the footage was off of a video game. So.
what was he, like the Ukrainian Maverick?
Yeah, I know. He shot down more than anybody in history.
I believe one of the actual video game manufacturers for one of those clips that was used is actually suing one of the media stations for using their clip as
Is that what it
Proof.
was?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
That's
It
video.
was a video game.
Yeah, it was a video. The footage for him was.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, it's not even a real human being.
Wow.
It's
So
that bad.
We're in an age of information and war, right?
Exactly.
Totally.
Who knows what's true right now? It's hard to even formulate a really a decision on what's actually, or an opinion on what's happening in Ukraine, because what are we to believe? Are we believing the news stations that for the last 5-6 years have told us that Russia and Trump are one and the same? That they colluded to win the
And
election?
that's worked out
Are-
so well for them.
Exactly. Are we really going to sit here and, what are we to believe anymore? I think the credibility of the news networks has been just decimated over the last couple of years, to the point to where now the American people are searching for other streams of information or different areas of information or sources, because the news networks, in my opinion, can't be trusted anymore.
No.
The news is trash. There's no way around that, right? The news is trash. No matter where it's coming from, even news that is so-called conservative news is just as trash and just as biased as the liberal news, right? Because you're only getting it from one perspective, and from the ultra shuttered of either the left or the right, right? Go out on the streets and see what's happening for your damn self, right? You can go out and see what's happening in your own cities, in your own towns. Go and talk to people. Talk. Hey, we forgot about how to talk, right? Like, it's amazing to go out and talk to people and then just see what's happening in our areas, right? Like, I'm a talker. I love talking. God damn it.
Josh, your levels suck.
Yeah.
You're fuzzy, but your levels suck.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting. I think that the effect that this digital world has had on society, or is having on our society right now, is we're moving from a reality of trust first, and then if you lose it, you don't get it back, to a different mentality of like, no, you got to earn my trust, and then maybe I'll trust you, right? And I don't know if that's necessarily for the better, but it's probably for the wiser.
I agree 100%. So let's move
Yeah,
on,
but sadly, too many
or not.
people do just like see what they see and then just believe that, no matter what. So, there, now I'm too damn loud. All right. Yeah, so a lot of people just see things online and then that's it. They believe it no matter what, right?
Face
They could be
value.
like the most crazy ass stuff that they be seeing, and well, I'm like really zoomed in. I got to back up from the thing. But people just believe everything they see online, and now I'm out of focus because my focus was pulled for right here. So, yeah, it's crazy, right? Too many people just believe exactly what they see, and for whatever reason, they don't want to do any kind of research into it.
on their own, right? Because that would take a little bit of effort, and people don't want to do anything that takes any kind of effort because they're lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the names. Anybody you're getting any information from, remember the name.
What I want to know is, well, how come you guys didn't invite the Island Boys? You know, because right now they're inviting out podcasts and news discussions.
The Island Boys. I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who the Island Boys
No,
are?
who are the Island Boys?
Oh my God! No, you're better not knowing. Don't tell them.
Boys.
Don't listen. You don't wanna. You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Well, now the curiosity spiked already. So.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
I don't know if you made it better,
Everybody's
Josh.
checking
No.
their phones.
I know. I got.
I know. I know.
You
I
guys
should.
don't know who the Island Boys are?
I've seen
Oh
them. I
my-
know what you're
I
talking
have no
about.
idea who they are.
Unfortunately,
I know Lonely Island.
Oh yeah, I feel like I am blessed because I know. Like it's horrible that I know.
Wait, what are a summary of who they are?
You know,
Bunch of
there's a couple
jackasses.
rappers. They got like pineapple hair and tattoos all over their face and chest, and their claim to fame is being in a hot tub. And what is it? And that's what they were singing. I'm an island boy, and they're like from Cuba, but they're actually from Miami. But yeah, they're just. But they were on. I'm trying to remember whose podcast, and you know they were talking about how
They've been on a lot of people's shows now.
Yeah.
What's the name of that guy who's like a YouTube star and he became boxer? I hit him and his brother Logan.
Hmm.
Paul Logan.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on his podcast, but
So
yeah,
they don't have their own podcast. They just jump on a bunch of other
Yeah.
people's.
They're
No,
trying
they're
to want to be
musicians.
celebrities.
Are they Chicago people or?
No, they're from like Florida.
Ah.
Yeah, but they're wannabe celebrities. But
Yeah, they suck. Their
Pretty
music sucks. Their hair sucks.
I agree, Josh.
Yes.
I don't comment on anybody's hair.
You should.
If I had
See
any,
how
I
it works
would.
out for you.
I don't have it.
If I had some, I would be all over it. But
Yeah,
I
you can
don't.
offend me. I don't got that.
What you mean? You had that extra patch the other day?
Well, it's like those Latin kings from Chicago back in the day. You know, I was shaving my head and there was a patch. I was in a hurry and there's a patch I missed. And so I don't know how many people caught that except me. But then I ended up shaving it off with a razor and then I ended up having a bald spot. So I was like, you know, for 2 ways.
Oh, man. All right, let's move on to our
Elon.
next topic here, which is Elon Musk, the Twitter adventure. So where are we? He offered $52 and some change,
$52.40 per share.
or was it $54.20?
Yeah.
That yeah.
Yeah, and passes that off for the whole company, 100%. And today we find out that Twitter uses the poison pill on him. So basically rejecting. Actually, it's not even rejecting.
It's not rejecting. It's
It's,
diluting
uh,
the shares.
It's diluting the
That's what
shares,
happened.
and it doesn't
That's
go to
the
the
threat. I
doesn't
don't know
go to
if
the
they've officially
shareholders,
said
so
it.
they don't get to see the offer,
Mm-hmm.
so they can't vote on it. Interesting.
There is such an effort in this country right now to maintain as a suppression of free speech.
Mm-hmm.
And something like this just goes to expose it to the American people. What are they willing? What is the government? What is social media, big tech willing to go? What lengths are they willing to go to keep censoring our speech? Any speech that they don't agree with is going to be censored, and right now is putting it out on display for all of the American people. Elon Musk is trying to bring an open platform to where you can express free opinion because we have a First Amendment right. And it's watching big tech just fight against it with tooth and nail to, keep him from gaining that control of Twitter. I mean, you should send a chilling message to the entire country.
Here's the wild hypocrisy behind this too, is that we've got Elon Musk, who runs the largest electric vehicle company in the United States, which is what the left is supposed to be all about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Getting ostracized for trying to bring free speech to a platform and by taking it over, right? And it's just like that's just like level 1 of the hypocrisy.
It was so great that like the other day when they were talking about it and all the tweets, like Twitter was just blowing up with, he's trying to control the midterms and this and that, and like, wait, like, literally isn't that what the left just did with the last cycle, and so like
Yeah, all
Yeah,
the Mark
right.
Zuckerberg
Exactly.
stuff that's going on
yeah.
right now.
You know, it's just speaking of free speech, let's address the elephant in the room. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's just they would rather lose billions and not make billions just to suppress his voice because they know the president likes Musk and Musk likes Trump. And the second that he controls that company, he's going back on Twitter, and they will not allow that to
Yeah,
happen.
there you go.
And they literally, I mean, they could stand to profit billions and billions off of this, but just to suppress his voice, they'll be willing to lose that money.
Well, this is going to be really interesting because it's going to be a point to which you're going to have a class action lawsuit from the shareholders because the efforts of the board has denied the shareholders profits in excess of $11 billion.
That's right.
So if I'm a shareholder of Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pissed because the investment I don't think I would have made that with the way Twitter's going now. In fact, now if
If they dilute the shares and then Musk
If he
sells
d-
all of
if he
his, it's
sells
going to go
off,
down to $15 a
it's
share.
it's gonna tank the
Kind of
company.
funny,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Literally going to tank the company.
Yeah.
So I was reading. There's a couple articles out there already. What shareholders, what they can do, and unless there's some kind of way to get Musk's offer back to the shareholders, that company's really in trouble.
I wonder, is that criminal? Is that
I
like some kind of securities thing for them not to?
I don't know.
yeah, there's a fiduciary responsibility that the board has, and by I think when you issue an offer past a certain amount, it has to be a certain percentage above it. If it exceeds that, then basically, if the board turns it down, they are criminally responsible. So we'll see. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a.
Here's another
Or a
angle too
financial
that I
advisor.
kind of been thinking about that I think is kind of interesting is Elon Musk is worth what, 300 billion, something like that. And so what?
Something like that.
A little more than me. Yeah.
and
A few more.
that's got to be what? I don't even know, like in the top 100 at least in the country, right?
Who is the richest? It was,
The richest man in the
Warren
world is
Buffett.
Elon Musk right now.
It wasn't
Is he?
Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
I thought
Okay.
it was- I thought
Well,
it was
it
Warren
like
Buffett.
goes back and forth between
Yeah.
him and Bezos depending on what the
The
crypto
shares.
goes.
I thought Warren Buffett
Yeah.
was more richer than
No,
him.
no,
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Okay, so Elon Musk is the richest person in the world,
And
right?
he
And-
is the largest supplier to
he's-
the Department of Defense. the
And he's
DoD.
also one of the most brilliant engineers of our time.
Mhm.
Like he is a creator,
Al,
right?
I don't think he's an engineer. I think he's a savvy businessman.
He's an engineer.
I don't think he's an engineer.
Well,
I don't think he's engineered anything in his life.
okay. Look into him more.
I think everything that he's supposedly engineered has been other people who engineered for him.
So
But he's a good guy,
he's
If I
a
knew him,
creator
I would
though,
love
right? He builds things creatively and comes up with like ideas that other people don't, right?
Yes, I
Um,
agree with that.
and to me, he's not a legal expert though, right? Like when I read his statement to Twitter or his offer to Twitter, I was just like, huh.
It's off the cuff.
It seems a little bit like somebody's kind of pulling his strings a little. And I'm like, what's that about? Because it's like that language that was used, he's probably got a good lawyer that's helping him out or whatever, fine. But it did feel a little bit like it wasn't him doing that to me. Because and I don't know why. I do think that it is convenient timing that right as the Democrats are trying to attack, trying to cover up the whole Hunter Biden thing by bringing up Jared Kushner and his deal with Saudi Arabia or whatever, right? I think the timing is super convenient that now all of a sudden all these leftists are huge fans of Saudi Arabia because that's the opponent to Elon Musk, right? So there might be this game of chess happening behind the scenes, and that Elon Musk is just a piece of. I'm not, and I don't know, but it's definitely thought provoking. It's gotten me to think about some stuff for sure.
Doesn't it seem like the last year or so? I mean, with everything that's going on, it's really been. I've seen from the the people in the country people are asking more questions, I think, is what it is. We're asking, I myself included, I'm asking a lot more questions now because things just don't add up on what's going on in this country. And I think-
Distrust.
The last 2 years is a series of questions.
Yes, and that's important because before that, I was, under the American First policy, I was happy sitting on the couch, living life with my family. The government stayed out of my business. I raised my kids.
Yep.
And it was, it's good. It's a good life. And now,
Gas was under $1.90.
exactly. Now we have incompetence coming in to lead the country, and folks are starting to ask, normal folks, like us, starting to ask, what's going on? This doesn't make sense. And I think that's really telling to what the future is going to hold for the country.
Yeah, and not only, like, of course, everybody in this room is conservative, but when you go outside of that now, you have people who are moderates or even progressives that are saying, whoa, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
Mhm.
And when you start getting more and more of them, stepping on board, then you have a totally different situation as well.
I believe really in my heart, more connects us than divides us. I believe 90% the higher 90% of the percentile actually connects the American people. There's only a handful of issues that divide us. Unfortunately, our government does a very good job at
Yes.
using that small percentage of items to
Mhm.
really sink a divide into the American people. So we focus on those issues only. When if we were able to just come together and actually focus on what actually we agree on, we would be able to move through life, solve issues,
Mhm.
and come up with solutions and move on to the problems that we don't necessarily agree on. I mean, this country isn't as divided as they lead us to believe.
Oh yeah, just get out and talk to people. I'm talking to people all the time. I'm doing sales out and just talking to regular people that own homes in the area, and not a lot divides us. It's kind of what they do is they take this hyper minority of people, these kind of with these fringe values, and then they say that's
amplify 'em.
Yeah, they amplify it, and it's easy to do with the way that media is because everybody's kind of individual watching, looking on their phone or looking at the internet all day, and they're not really out talking to people. They're not talking to their peers. We almost need to go back to the old school and just get just have conversations with people,
Mhm.
and then you'll see that we'll have more commonalities than anything.
So do you know why that happened? Have you watched The Social Dilemma, right? Is that what it's called?
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, so that's happened because these platforms are all about engagement, right? Like it's not necessarily about the usership. It's at some point, like once you get all the user base, it's about keeping them on the site,
Mhm.
and that contrast is like hypnotic, right? And that's why these
Oh, okay.
people get
What's entertainment, right?
right, and that's why that gets. That's why these fringe people end up getting inflated, right? Is because that's what keeps people engaged.
We
Makes
refer to
sense.
that. It's just I really believe that you got platforms like Facebook and Twitter, really regulating our speech and our freedom. That they're going to end up like MySpace. MySpace was the Facebook of that day,
Oh yeah.
and now
Yeah.
it's just
Still owned by JT.
yeah. But now it's just that's what it's going to come up into when Trump starts his social media platform. It's going to be right around the corner. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully they're going to give Twitter and Facebook a run for their money because right now there's a lot of conservatives on there.
It's very basic right now. They don't even have.
I like
yeah.
it. It's
Yeah, let's talk
I've
about that.
I've been using it quite a bit now, probably more than I use Telegram now, and I'm from that old Twitter group that got axed, so I like the feel of it that way, and it's setting it the way you can go through and you can see it setting itself up to have the messaging capability of like Telegram and.
It takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. You can't build things overnight, that's for sure. And so, which also presents another interesting scenario is if the Twitter stock tanks
Mhm.
and now
Where's everybody gonna
now
go?
it's
Exodus.
valued at I think 30, and that's if it drops down to 15.
Mhm.
Now it's set up for somebody else to come in and do a takeover, another hostile takeover.
Bill Gates, maybe.
Wouldn't it be cool if President
don't-
Trump
Well,
bought Twitter?
you have the TMTG sitting right there, and they've got the financial capabilities to do it. And if you can pick it up for half the price that Musk tried to pick it up,
It'd be nice to buy if they bought Facebook, because Facebook is the biggest one. Twitter and Facebook, I don't know how.
Well,
close-
for our age group, it is for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then obviously, Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram, so I mean that dominates a lot of it, But talking about the social media platforms, my whole big gripe with everything with the social media platforms is, it's like with Parler, right, and then with True Social. I haven't used because I'm on this waiting list forever, definitely, I guess.
I was
But-
on it for a while. Too.
Yeah,
They'll let you in eventually.
it's like with Facebook, the reason why people went to it is because it was something different. The way that it operated was different. It seems like conservatives just want to have another Facebook, another Twitter. It's just the same. There's not a huge benefit or
They're not improving on the
they're not
platforms,
improving
yeah.
on anything. Yeah, so there's really no reason, and it kind of dilutes everybody because then you have all these conservative platforms, and then you have the big guys. So I think the Musk thing with Twitter, I think, is good. It's strategic because it's a big player, and you could kind of take them over, and then you could use that platform, or it would completely dissolve. Who knows? It's kind of a weird situation that we're going to see unfold.
Well, and this is the one thing I've kind of asked. There's so many people that are just frustrated with all these new platforms, right?
Yeah. It's too many.
And yeah, it's a lot to absorb. And like at some point, I was just like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I need a break, right?
Yeah.
But the thing to just remember is that like Twitter, I think came out in like 2007, 2008 maybe. I think Facebook came out in like 2005. So like these companies have like a 15-year head start,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's hard enough to just build a platform that can allow the amount of traffic that these ones have,
Mm-hmm.
much less all the bells and whistles that come with it, right? So stay patient. That right. The best thing for anybody I think to remember is that all of these platforms depend on us, right? They need our engagement in order to thrive.
Yeah.
And so if we stay patient with these new ones that are coming up, and it's just like, it's going to take time. And, like these companies worked hard for a long time to make their product as good as it could be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to take time to catch up.
Yeah, I think that brings up a good topic too of like alternative media, because everybody's looking for alternative choices with the truth. And I'm a big fan of the Daily Wire. I think they're building a huge empire over there. And they've got
the warrior.
Yeah.
When they invested like $100 million to like.
Yeah. So I mean, we're going to see more of that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that, to have an alternative that's going to grow organically, and it's just in the beginning stages right now.
Totally.
And to keep it going with the social media stuff too, and have new concepts and new ideas that people say, hey, no other platform has this. You need to join over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the news side of things, you got the truth. So
nothing,
that's
nothing
different.
should sell better than the truth
Yes.
on paper, but
I think so, right? And there's another thing that came up yesterday, and I haven't heard anything else about it. I got an email, and but you know what Gab is, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the CEO of Gab sent Elon Musk a letter.
I saw that.
interesting. Andrew Torba, by the way.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
people out
and
there,
I'll read through it here. And Elon, I founded Gab in 2016 because I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a social imperative for a functioning constitutional federal republic. However, since founding Gab, I realized that in order to provide a free speech platform, you must also have free speech inherited infrastructure. Gab has since transformed from merely a social network into a free speech internet infrastructure company. We build our own servers, our own email services, our own payment process.
He's pitching them, dude.
I know he
He's
is.
pitching them.
Payment processor and so much more. And because we wanted to, but because we had no choice, if we were going to continue to exist. What we are missing at the moment is an ISP. I fear that the next big leap of censorship is at the ISP level. With ISP blocking access to Gab.com, you solve that problem with Starlink. And there it is.
Why did he? Why was that public? Why was that made public?
I think
What?
he posted it on Twitter, I think.
Like, why would Andrew
Well, I
Torba
mean,
make that
that's-
public?
that's
That
because-
to me seems like something you should just write to Elon. But I mean,
No,
maybe
no,
Elon
because-
doesn't know who Andrew Torba is. I don't know.
Yeah.
He wants the people to know, like, hey, I agree with what you're trying to do. Let's work together and
Yeah,
do this, right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, he's saying he needs an ISP, right? We only have but a handful of people that control all internet traffic in
Right,
the world,
right.
and Musk is about to join that very exclusive party
Mm,
with
The Starlink,
infrastructure that's
there you
head and
go.
shoulders
That's a good
above
point.
everybody else's, you know. So
Yeah. Well,
So he wants
I
in.
mean, it
He
will
wants
be.
in on it.
yeah, yeah. I think he will be too.
Is
I hope.
Starlink even active in the United States?
Yeah,
right now?
it is.
Yeah.
It's
And
like a
like-
beta.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's
not
active
fully.
by invitation. Like if you get on the waiting list and they activate it in your region, right, for where
Right.
the satellites cover yet,
I think it's like major cities that they're kind of starting to introduce it into.
How many satellites do you put up there?
it's supposed
Great
to have
question.
thousands eventually.
Yeah, there's.
Wow.
Yeah, he's already got, I think, close to 1,000.
I want to say the
That's
target
crazy.
was 40,000+ is what they were targeting, and
Kidding.
he puts up
Wow.
hundreds upon hundreds every launch.
Yeah.
And they're launching.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
my God!
We're
I want to say
building
a couple times a
second,
week.
second
Sometimes
atmosphere of
What do they
satellites.
Yeah,
come
pretty
out?
much,
Do
yeah.
those satellites come out like little bomblets?
they
or-
Yeah.
open the bay doors. You can actually watch it on YouTube. It's amazing. I mean, they just open the doors and they just one row after another right into
And you
space.
can see the uploads too. You know, that's it's a visual upload,
Hmm.
so you can see like who was it? Cash on he was interviewing. He said you can see at night the upload going into Starlink, so it looks like lighted pearls going into the sky.
You're kidding me. Wow.
Nope.
Like little Sputniks.
Yep.
Pretty amazing the technology. The technology has grown into space. You know, that's the new age right there.
So you know, you literally have it's going to when it's done. You know, doesn't matter where you travel in the world, you can whip it out. You know, whip your phone out or whatever, connect up, or whip out anything you want to whip out and connect up.
What do you feel about the discussion with Elon Musk, where he wants it may be him or Bill Gates, where they want to transplant like a human mind into like another human being or a robot?
That's a
like
good
the
conversation.
White
Oh,
right
that's
Oh,
to me.
boy.
It's happening.
We're going
So you
there.
want to hear my
Transhumanism.
my theory on that?
Transhumanism, that's what it is. right?
So my theory on that is the whole transgender thing is for us to get used to transhumanism.
Is that what it is?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like
That's a
that.
good theory.
Are you guys familiar with we were talking about earlier Neuralink, another one of Elon
Yeah.
Musk's companies? So they're gonna make it as common. His goal is to make it as common as getting LASIK surgery on your eyes. A machine will put a little hole into your back of your head and implant a microchip and put some leads into your brain, and you
We
will
got a
become
lot of-
interfaced with the internet.
We got a lot of cleaning up to do before I'm letting anybody even touch me. with
Yeah,
this
there's
shit.
no way that's even gonna.
Can you imagine if that overheats? I mean, man,
Yeah, there's.
that'd make for a
I
bad
don't
day.
know.
Yeah,
Imagine
I-
20, 30 years from now. You know, people might have a different mindset.
I really believe we're like in our last days. I mean, there's a point where we're gonna have too much technology, and we're gonna piss somebody off into the sky.
Have you?
Yeah, I agree. I just think, you know, with any technology, you have to kind of dive into it, and then you realize that this isn't what you should be doing. And I just think the whole transhumanism is it's just gonna disappear.
AI is coming, and even Elon Musk has warned, AI as the most dangerous, most dangerous to human civilization. It's coming, it's here,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're all, even Tesla is making the new AI robots, and humanoids. I mean, essentially, and so I know when Elon Musk was talking about
They've
that,
done such a wonderful car with their auto driving on the Tesla.
Yeah,
Right.
kill people.
But Neuralink is a way once AI is developed, how are humans going to be able to compete with AI? And this is,
Won't
I
be
think,
able
the
to.
premise behind what is Elon's
What do you mean
concept of
compete
Neuralink.
with AI?
So for jobs, for anything really, AI. We've all seen Terminator, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously,
Well,
I'm not saying that's
our jobs change. That's
they
what
do.
happens.
They
Yeah.
do evolve, and they
Yeah.
become more information based, right? More technology based.
Right.
How do we compete with computer? Well, what if you become a computer? What if that interface is what's needed to compete with AI?
Yeah.
You know, just ideas, because I think as we go on and progress through the years, we're all seeing technology just advance at such a fast level that, you know, the ramifications are unknown. We're jumping into the deep end without knowing how to swim,
Yep.
and you know we're gonna find out very quickly, you know,
Who can
what it's gonna
swim?
take to try to swim, and it might
Yeah.
you know might be too late.
And to be honest with you, it's trimming the fat. You know what? Robots going to complain. You know, and you go to McDonald's. You know, 2015. I remember going to Bolingbrook and went to McDonald's. There was a kiosk where you had to order your food through the kiosk, and you know, touch screen and
Sure.
whatever you wanted. But now, because of they're raising the minimum wage.
Mhm.
Now they're talking about machines making the food. So what's going to happen to all these people? And in reality, it's just it's going to be cheaper for them to do it. Meanwhile, other people have to suffer. But you're right, technology is going to take over humans.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, it's going to take over the jobs that humans currently have, right? But there's always going to be a need for improving the algorithms, right? Improving, like you were just talking about, right? With these social media platforms, you're not even happy with the big tech, you know. Aside from this, you know, take the censorship away.
Yeah.
There's room for improvement, undoubtedly, right? With what we have right now. And there's always going to be a need for people to come up with creative solutions, right? In my humble opinion.
Yeah.
So, what percentage of the brain are humans currently using?
Not very much.
Was it
10 or 11
I think
maybe?
it was like 8.
That's
I thought it was like 8% or something.
That is all like a fucking fallacy, right? Like, because if that was true,
I've heard both
if you-
sides. I don't know.
if you like got shot in your brain, like you would be okay. Right?
Well, I heard it was like
Well, no,
1%.
No.
No.
This is all that stuff that they show and talk about in movies and all. Man, it's all shit.
No.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I think we have.
I'm with
I
you,
think
Josh,
if
a
you.
little bit. Yeah.
I think if
don't-
you
Nope.
focus
100% of
on
it.
developing technology and trying to expand that, you can also do the same thing with your own mind. Because obviously, I don't think we are using nearly as much of it as we can.
Well, look how fast we graduated into technology. You know, just like 150 years ago, we're in the agriculture age. You know, and then we went into the industrial age, and then we went to the computer age. But now it's like cyber in the air. I mean, you could save information in the cloud. Whoever would think about that. And then you go into transhumanism. How easy would it be to implant, a mind into another?
And the scary thing is if you look and say, well, people will resist it, they won't do it. Well,
Not true.
what we did for the last year
Yeah.
with trying to stop a virus, the things that people said, oh, okay, and without even checking to see if it's feasible or if it works, they just went right along with it. So as we
Conditioning.
get into that stage where, we have this mix of computer human, it'll make you a better guy, better person.
Yeah.
Do you think
Oh
they'll
yes,
ban it?
you're going to get a lot of people. Sign me up.
Do you think they'll ban it like cloning?
Well, they should.
Is cloning? I mean, it's banned, but isn't it happening?
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at our food supply. I mean, so
Well, okay.
Well, look at
Human
Biden.
cloning is banned. Cloning plants is totally a different
They
thing.
clone-
Like, that's
They
totally
actually
allowed.
clone plants?
what's that?
They clone plants?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was unaware.
That's
Yeah.
like
and
that's
animals.
the reason apples taste good, dude. Like literally, like it was like the
Manipulation.
apple.
Nah.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Well, you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. About this. If you can like go out to Washington, you can find plenty of orchards that are still not
Cloned trees from apples that tasted good instead of sour apples, which is what the majority of trees were.
Nope.
Factual
It's-
information.
it's
Do your
not-
research.
It's not like cloned, right? Just because you breed something to be a certain way, that doesn't make it cloned, right?
I agree on that one. I agree because
It's like how
when
they
you say
breed dogs
clone,
and
it's
stuff
like
the same way.
Like taking my body and making another one.
Right.
That's
Interbreeding.
Clone, but if you like manipulate, I wouldn't say like plants have DNA.
Well, they were manipulated. It was an anomaly. Like most apples like that taste good were anomalies because they used to be like mostly sour, and then it was like an
Right, but
anomaly
that's
tree,
not
and then
cloned.
they
That's just
replicated it by
manipulated to be
cloning it.
specific.
It wasn't. It was just. It was anomalous though. It wasn't like we did it intentionally. It was by accident. At least with apples. I don't know about other fruits, but
Yeah, there was a farmer who created like some 500-600 different types of apples. The way they looked, taste,
mhm.
felt.
Sure.
It's just, but
Right. It was the corn was the same way when the natives to this continent, breeded corn to be the way that they want it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that's just breeding something to be the way you want it. Just that's
Right,
no
but then
different than
once you
dogs.
have it the way you want it, though, then it's just a matter of
Well-
convenience of what do you want to clone it or do you want to just keep
As
it?
soon as you enter GMO into the food supply, you have an issue. So, yeah.
yeah, don't go there. They're probably going to knock down the door and stop this podcast.
So, but yeah, I think you were going back to what you were saying, Phil. Like we were talking about human cloning is highly illegal,
Yes.
but also
Except
Someone's probably
except if
doing
you're
it,
the
though.
president, and
It's-
we're
yeah,
seeing
it's
seeing
not-
a clone fall apart right now.
oh my god.
Have you guys watched the movie The Island
Oh yeah.
with what's his name? Ewan McGregor?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that for your viewers. It's a very interesting movie. And I'm not saying
Worth
it's
the
a-
watch.
It absolutely is. Is the technology there? I'll say absolutely. Are there ethical standards in place? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do humans follow ethical standards? I
Not
would
always.
say not always. I will say, Wall Street is in 2008 was a prime example of that.
There's nothing ethical at this point at this juncture in America at this time.
Absolutely.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the conditioning stuff with the movies, with the transhumanism, going back to that a little bit. If you go on Netflix and you look at all the new action movies and all the new movies that came out for the last couple of years and count how many are about transhumanism, about cyborgs and people that are half robots. There's a ton of them. It's almost all of them because I love action movies and I'm always looking for that stuff and it's just the dominant. And so they kind of condition you over a period of time, 5,
Sure.
10, 15, 20 years.
Well, it also says it's something that a lot of people are thinking about, which
True.
is probably a good thing.
It's the
But
collective.
yeah,
So
it's definitely a concern, and I look at it this way: like this country was founded on a set of laws that regulated the people in charge, right?
mhm.
And we've built laws to try to build at least for a while, like to try to build the society that we want, right?
Mhm.
And we've, I think, in recent years gotten away from that, and it's more just petty bullshit that we're arguing about, right? And this is the stuff that we should be talking about. And I think if we focused on it, we could conquer it, right?
Absolutely.
We could overcome it. But we gotta focus on it though.
Yes.
Oh, Josie, by the way, hello.
Josie's
We've seen you
here.
there, and nobody said hi to you yet. So that's our Jersey girl.
Nice.
Yeah, so. All right, so where are we going to go next? All right.
Wait, before we go, we're gonna segue into this.
Oh, we need an. That is not the Biden America, though, unfortunately.
No, but it's
No.
the perfect
But I'll take it.
anti-transhumanism
Yes.
video.
That bird's not taking any chips.
So,
No, he's not.
So, all right, let's roll into Ed Buck. Now, I don't know. I'm sure some of you know who he is. Some of you have no idea who he is. Ed Buck is one of the largest donors to the Clinton campaign in 2016. And that fella was just sentenced to 30 years in federal prison because he, what was it? Meth. He forced meth into 2 black kids, and they died.
What?
Yeah, so everything led to this. All the evidence was there. He didn't deny it. And so now he's going into prison
Why did he force meth into 2 black kids?
I will
Well,
say,
I think
yeah.
to get them to comply to do something.
So here's my question: is why are we all just hearing about the conclusion of this case right now when Kyle Rittenhouse, they engaged the entire American public for a month or however long it was.
a couple
you know,
Well, because
and-
somebody's the person who's narrating all the fucking lines right now. Yeah, the person who's narrating all the storylines right now isn't on our side, or whoever that
and
group
that's
of people is.
sad. That's how. I mean,
Yeah,
when you can cherry pick what you want to broadcast to the people and what you want to hide. Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
That just went completely
Oh, that
under
was
the
just
radar.
thrown
There
under
was
the
some
rug,
horrific
yeah.
actions taken there.
Yeah.
And actually, what's going on now? We know that the judge threw out the jury member the members that were somehow put in there to say that they had traumatic experiences in the past. So the judge threw it all out, and so the verdict still goes. But where's the media saying, "Hey, this is still going on. She's going to prison"? Nothing.
For Ghislaine, you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I switched the topic from Ed Buck.
I know. That's okay.
We'll go back to Ed Buck.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
wait, so who is Ed Buck, though? He's a Clinton donor. Is that, I know Joe Buck. Like this, I don't think they're
I don't
related,
think it's
right?
any relation
Okay.
to that Buck family.
Yeah, so, do we know anything more about who Ed Buck is?
I don't know personally what his
How much he's
career is
worth?
about.
Yeah,
But I've known his name for years as being a Clinton donor.
okay.
What did they end up indicting him for?
Yeah, that's a good question. I know it was for 30 years. I don't know what the official sentence was. That's a good point. We should dig into that. I don't want to dig into it now, though. And I don't know how many viewers out there actually knew about Ed Buck, but it's another Clinton backing, funded millions into the
Yeah,
Clinton cartel.
another indictment into to the Clinton donation. Yeah.
Well, him specifically was the campaign, millions into the campaign.
Anybody clued in on the Mark Zuckerberg stuff that's been going on? All the donation stuff for the Democratic Party, how he was supporting all that, and then the documentaries coming out with the 1,000 Mules or whatever. All that stuff is coming.
Oh, that's
2,000
Dinesh
Mules.
D'Souza's coming out with that, right?
That's
Yeah,
in May.
but I think I've been seeing stuff about Mark Zuckerberg about he's stopping donations to Democratic committees and things like that now.
Well,
He's cutting off his own
like
donation.
Yeah.
the state of Wisconsin nailed him. They passed a law saying that the social media, any corporate
Is that what it is?
cannot
Okay.
be funded the way it was.
I think it was like 50, 100 million.
I mean, the
It was
fact
like-
that
It was
they
closer to 4.
2020.
the fact that
400 million.
Facebook removed the Hunter Biden stuff
Mhm.
right before the election, and the fact that Twitter kicked Trump off, that both of those things are in-kind donations, which are that were never disclosed, and it's illegal. So, in
Yeah.
my opinion, both of those, I don't know if it's again, it's like Zuckerberg and what's the Twitter Dorsey aren't probably gonna be the ones who have to wear it because they are too connected or whatever. But
They
somebody-
launder it.
somebody's got to answer to that, or they should
Yeah.
at least.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm waiting for that documentary to come out. That's going to be it because I kind of got there was a podcast they were doing an interview with Dinesh D'Souza about it. And he was kind of giving some information about it, and they were saying that he was pushing hundreds of millions of dollars into these third-party companies, and then the third-party companies were funding the people dropping the ballots for the 2020 election. So there's a lot of craziness.
You know what's funny about that though? With this Sousa's guy, I know him. He's a great guy. And here you have Mark Zuckerberg. Was it 400 million? He said that he
Yeah.
put into the campaign against Trump.
Well,
And then-
he put it into the drop-off ballot boxes around the country.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
But yet, Dinesh D'Souza, he was convicted and sent to prison for literally donating just shy of like
It was like
50,000.
10 grand, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Think about that.
Wow.
That happens every day.
Yeah, it was like he didn't even think of it as a donation. It was like a gift to a friend or something.
Exactly.
And
Wow.
but it somehow got interpreted as a donation to
I mean,
a candidate.
they prosecuted him like it was a homicide.
Yeah.
And they threw him in jail, threw away the key. and it's just like that in itself again is just like suppressing the voice of freedom.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. That's why we need
And that was
alternatives.
another Trump pardon, I think. Right?
Was it?
No, I think he
He
got out.
served time.
He served time and
No,
got out.
well, Trump pardoned him while he was serving time, basically. I think he served
Oh,
like
did he?
6 months. Or
I see.
something, yeah.
I didn't even pay
That's
attention.
it was what's the most recent book he came out with? United States of Socialism. You guys heard of that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hillary's America.
Yeah, United States.
That
Well,
was
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, United States of Socialism. That was the one I read, and he was just talking about that a little bit, and it was like he was like Trump called him up, and he was just like, Dinesh, your indictment was bullshit. I'm pardoning you.
Well, that's what he said about the January 6th. You know, it's just he's like, you know, if I were like the president again, I'd give him a pardon. It's just the way they, you know, they're putting them in private prisons and cutting off like all kinds of communication.
Oh
from
my
the
gosh.
public.
Oh, it's crazy if you read
Yeah.
about
Well, they are
that.
political prisoners. There is no.
Mhm.
You know, you're, not, you're not even
Exactly.
charging
These are
some
mild
of these
misdemeanors,
people.
if that.
Yeah.
I mean, here's how much confidence does this instill with the FBI investigation into Governor Whitmore or whatever her name is, right? I mean, they just lost their case, right? The men that were sued back
Accused,
because of
yeah.
entrapment, because the FBI it sounds like they staged the event.
Well, it was an
and
FBI
came up-
entrapment is the
Yes.
reason that they got off. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you remember, the FBI agent that was in charge of the investigation, he was actually arrested for domestic violence and battery, beat up his wife, and he lost all credibility.
Hmm.
And they had to take that into consideration, but
I-
that was that case.
The
Yeah,
FBI is an organization chasing ghosts right now, man. They have no idea.
Well,
That's what it seems like, at least.
They're
Yeah.
too busy planning their next
They're
events.
creating crimes
Yeah.
for them to investigate themselves.
Wasn't it recently they were questioning one of the FBI directors, and they're like the assistant directors, and they were like, okay, where's the evidence on Hunter?
Well, they asked him where's the laptop, and he said we're no longer in possession of it. We don't know where
yeah,
it
no
is.
shit.
Yeah, this is supposedly the strongest investigation unit in the world, the FBI, and it just was a cover up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's blatant.
Like a democratic socialistic, cover
This
up.
is a great segue for all of you people in the room that are running for office in the state of Illinois. I would love to be guaranteed as a citizen of this state
Hunter Biden's laptop.
that I will get representation from the state to defend me against the federal government if it ever came to that,
Good
because
point.
this is insane. Like I don't want to have to worry about that bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the cusp. We went from freedom to communism in a very short period of time, and we fortunately,
I don't know how short of a time it really. I think
Yeah,
people
you're
just didn't
right.
look at it.
yeah.
it's
You know,
being
th-
exposed.
there's been all along. They actually had movies from 1910 or something of what's going on now.
Really.
And Josh and I have talked about it before in a lot of our live streams. In 1963, Florida senator entered into congressional record 45 points of communism that was already taking place, and already at that time it was 42 maybe.
No, at today, 43 of the 44 goals of the Communist Party in 1963 have been met, right? And like the communists, the global communists met over 100 years ago and talked about how they were going to take over the West, right? And and they have been at it for 100 freaking years, and it's not like they're only just at the gates now. It's only now that people are realizing that, hey, jackasses like me that have been screaming this for 20 years aren't completely nuts.
Yeah, just
They are coming back. Like not to rediscuss what we're talking about Putin, but it's just he was KGB.
Mhm.
It's just and right now with communism and rise, it's leading our shores. It's just under this leadership right now. Well, it's not leadership; it's president.
Can't call it that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a difference, right? But it's just
Administration.
we're going to go down that road if we don't stop it now.
Yeah, I don't personally. I don't think he's going to go down that road. I don't. Being in the KGB is one. That's like Pompeo, who was CIA. You can't really compare it. Just because they were in that class of government.
But he was a strong
There-
member of the Communist Party.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
but
they all have to be really. You know,
there has to be in Russia some level of a healthy respect for the decentralization of power, though, right? Because the fact that the Soviet Union fell and opened up the opportunity for these different, mob groups essentially to rise to power, and that at least should grounded them a little bit, right? Hopefully, I hope.
well, in a sense, he's fighting the decentralization in Ukraine. So you know,
Right. Yeah.
it's a interesting dynamic taking place there. So, anyways, do we? We're gonna move on. We're gonna exit here. I think we've hit our time limit. Do we have any events or fundraisers or anything going on in the next week or 2 weeks?
Yes, I don't have it up, but I have an event
Go ahead.
on the 20th in Mount Prospect at the Red Barn from 6:30 until 9. It's my event. Chrissy from Freedom, Illinois, she'll be there, and maybe some of these guys will be there.
I'll be there. What time? What day?
420.
4:20
All right.
Gee, isn't
So
that
when-
a special day for something?
Wednesday. Wednesday.
Something.
All right, come out there.
Do they have a wing special or anything?
They have a Wednesday special. I don't know
That
what
determines
it is
if you'll
off
be
the
there or
top of my
not.
head.
Yeah, I know. Get some quarter wings or something. I'm all over it.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Phil, do you got anything going
Come
on?
back to me. I'm looking up the date right now for this event.
All right. Last time people say where they're from, where to find them. Boom. You.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Oh, Patrick Bruyette, PatrickThomas4Illinois.com is my site. If you are in the 44th District, I hope I have your vote.
Philip Nagel, I'm running for state senate in the 40th district, and my event coming up this week is on April 20th in Tinley Park. It's a showing of Whose Children Are They? Very powerful documentary. I've seen it once already, but it really goes into how has communism infiltrated our public school system? How has the school unions sexually exploit? Use a platform to push an agenda into our schools to there's almost an effort to desensitize our children into a sexual atmosphere or learning environment, and it's a really eye-opening documentary that I believe every parent in Illinois should watch. And so that's on April 20th at 6 o'clock in Tinley Park. If you want some details or where to order tickets, go to Philip Nagel for Senate on my Facebook page. And I have everything there on one of my postings. So hope to see you there.
Val Ojeda, member of Team Trump, 2016-2020, Republican strategist. I can be found at www.integratedpoliticalstrategy.com.
There you go.
I'm James, and you can find me at Patriots_Rising17 on, Instagram and Twitter. And I'm not running for anything because I mostly just want to be left alone.
It's good, man.
And I'm Matt, and I'll update you later.
You already know who I am. Josh Alvarado 4 Illinois. Come out to Mount Prospect on 420, 6:30. Come have a drink. Come take some pictures. Come grab a yard sign. We'll see y'all again soon.
There you go. Have a good
Happy
night.
Easter, y'all.
Eagle out.
Happy
Happy Good
Easter.
Friday.
Take care.
Happy.